What Michelle is going to do is channel some of that calmness and courage that Yvette so impactfully shared with us. Michelle, I'm so excited to introduce her. She's been a mentor with She Can for a long time. She mentored Josine, who's now a graduate, and now Thierry, who is on this call. And Michelle is also very involved. We involve her in every way that we can. She's on our college advisory board, where she helps us make good decisions about our colleges, as well as get valuable connections. And she's also part of our diversity task force, which we're moving forward with soon. For her background, Michelle worked in student affairs at 4 women's colleges in the Boston area, including Wellesley, where we now have Noella studying, who's in Korea. So otherwise we would say hi to her from Wellesley. But at the end of 2019, I'm sorry, then Michelle moved on, and she was in the, I want to say this right, the assistant dean for the alumni volunteer relations in the Office of Undergraduate Admissions at Stanford. So she was basically developing the largest global volunteer program for Stanford. She did that for many, many years. And then just at the end of 2019, Michelle made an amazing decision to retire and pursue a multitude of different mindful practices, including being a yoga practitioner, a healing arts teacher, and a life coach. And so she now has spent the year working on these things and holds certifications as a yoga teacher, end-of-life doula, and healing touch and Reiki practitioner. And I'm very jealous of Michelle's retirement and ability to explore all of these amazing things. She and I talk about it a lot. And then she and her husband, Victor, who's also a part of She Can, just over the holiday, they moved to Santa Fe. So there's a lot of life changes. And we're excited that she's going to spend some time teaching us about being calm and channeling our inner power. Take it away, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Barbara, for that warm welcome. I am excited to have this opportunity to sit with this amazing group of leaders from around the world, and to have some time to focus on some really practical things that you can do in moments where you feel challenged, or in moments where you want to increase your energy. Some of the themes from yesterday, from our very first keynote with Frida yesterday, she talked about the importance of overcoming fear and anxiety. And that's one of the things that we'll talk about today. And then Michelle and Uma and Ashley, they talked about fear of failure, acting with authenticity, and owning your personal power. And those are all things that hopefully these practices will help you to find. And today, Hope and Barbara started us off talking about knowing yourself. And some of our practices will focus on how do you get to know yourself better, having courage, how do you rebound from mistakes, things that Chancellor Chasson talked about. So hopefully you'll find that a lot of these themes weave into the practices that we'll do today. So I'm going to share my screen first. Let's see. I think I'm going to share my screen.
Can we help Michelle?
Do you see the button on the bottom, Michelle?
Yep, but I don't see that.
Yeah, I don't see.
Yeah, I don't have my PowerPoint pulled up. One sec. Let me try it again. There we go.
Yay.
There it is.
Yes? Is it
Yep.
on?
Yep.
Okay. Great. Sorry about that. So some of the things we're going to talk about today is learning about your body's response to fear and stress, We're going to do some simple breath practices and a meditation to help you rebalance and find a sense of calm and reconnect to your inner movement to boost your confidence and own your presence and authenticity so that you can be the best leader that you can be. So we're first going to start on the theme of fear and anxiety. And I'd love it if everybody could take a minute and think about a situation that you were in where you felt fear or anxiety. And I want you to think about what was happening in your body, what was happening in your mind, what was happening to you emotionally, and what was happening to you energetically. And if we're talking about an issue in a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being an extreme issue, put yourself in an issue that's a sort of 5 to 7 charge range. So think about, in this 5 to 7 charge range, a time that you felt fear and anxiety, what was happening in your body, what was happening in your mind, what was happening to you energetically, what was happening to you emotionally. And when you have some of those ideas, if you don't mind popping them in the chat, or if you want to keep them private, just journal them a little bit so that you have some baseline for what was happening to you. I'll give everybody a minute to do that. Does anybody want to share something that was happening, or if Amanda, anything in the chat that you could read out to us? What happens to your body when you experience fear?
I mean, I can share what happens to my body when I experience fear. I'm fine being a model here. I notice that I get sweaty. My heart starts beating faster. I might be breathing faster. If it's really intense, my hands might start shaking or my legs might start shaking. I feel hotter. People are saying shortness of breath, sometimes feeling cold, having a stomach ache or a dry mouth. Your mind is racing from thought to thought. You feel like you've lost control. People get spacey or confused.
Great. That is an excellent list. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. So I want to walk through a little bit about what's actually happening. And in our brain, there's a P-shaped organ called the amygdala. And when you feel fear, your amygdala gets activated. And it sends out signals that activate your nervous system. Your nervous system has two parts: the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system activates what we call a fight or flight response. There's something fearful in front of us and we want to attack or we want to flee. And what's happening to us physically are all the things that Amanda just talked about. So our heart rate is increasing, our blood flow is increasing, we get a dry mouth, we turn red, we turn pale. We might have to go to the bathroom. If I'm on a Ferris wheel and I'm scared, all of a sudden I want to go to the bathroom, right? So there are all these things that happen in our body, and they're actually common, that they happen in most people in different ways when we feel fear. So some of the practices we're going to do today are going to help us shift from being in this sympathetic nervous system activation to a parasympathetic nervous system activation, where we're cultivating a sense of relaxation and calm. As Barbara mentioned, I recently became a yoga instructor in the tradition of Kundalini yoga. And I'm curious, how many people are familiar with yoga? If you want to raise your hand if you've ever done yoga or heard of yoga. Excellent, great. So the yoga tradition comes out of India, and it's really about connecting to yourself, connecting internally and finding a sense of balance. And in the yoga tradition, many people first learn how to do yoga postures or a yoga flow class where you move from posture to posture. That's one part of yoga. And the other parts of yoga have to do with really balancing your life. And one of the traditions that we're going to practice today is called pranayama, which is activating your life force, which is considered your breath, that your breath is considered your life force. And we're going to also do some mindful meditation to cultivate a sense of presence and peace. So,
Michelle, can I
to
interrupt
get
you for
started,
just a moment?
Yes.
Your audio is lagging a bit, and just while you're sharing your slides, do you mind turning off your video? I think that your audio will be a little bit more synced up that way.
Okay, great. So we're going to do 3 practices. The first one is called calming nadi shodhana, which is an alternate nostril breath. And then we're going to do a practice called calming viloma, which is an interrupted breath. And then we're going to do a mindful breath meditation. And now I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can see me instead. Great. So let me get this on speaker view. Great. So the first thing we're going to do is just move our bodies a little bit, because before we go into any kind of meditation or breath work, you want to activate your spine, and we've been sitting for a while. So whether you're sitting in a chair or you're sitting on the ground like I am, I'm going to invite you to do a few simple practices. So the first thing we're going to do is really just make some circles in one direction 3 or 4 times. And then change directions and go the other way 3 or 4 times. And then come back to the middle. And we're going to stretch our spine a little bit by pulling our chest forward and then arching back. So about 5 or 6 times forward and back. Breathe in when you come forward, breathe out when you go back. Great, you should start to feel some energy in your spine. And the next thing I'm going to invite you to do, and you should only do these practices if they feel comfortable for you. Put your hands up on your shoulders, elbows out, hold your belly in, and we're going to swing left to right. So left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Breathe in when you go left, breathe out when you go right. Okay, back to center. And I'm going to invite you to pull your shoulders up to your ears and drop them down. Breathe in, pull up, drop down. And I'm getting a little hot doing all this. Okay, then one more. I'm going to pretend like there's a pencil or a paintbrush on your nose, and the wall that's far in front of you, you're going to paint circles with your nose. So some circles with your head. One direction. And then the other direction. Great. So hopefully you feel a little more energy flowing through your body, although the practices we're going to start with are calming practices, so they'll bring your energy level down. So you might want to have a handkerchief or a tissue nearby. You want to sit comfortably, and you want to sit with your back straight as much as you can. If you're sitting in a chair, have your feet flat on the ground, not legs crossed. You want to feel really grounded when you're doing these practices. Or if you're sitting on a chair, a cushion like me, your butt's on the ground. Your intention is to feel receptive and curious about what comes up for you as we do these practices. If you are uncomfortable at any time, you should stop, move, and then jump back in when you feel comfortable, or just sit and relax until we're done with the practice. Let's see, I guess that's a good introduction to what we're going to do. So the first one we're going to do is a breath practice called calming nadi shodhana, which is an alternate nostril breath. And we're going to hold our hands, your right hand, you're going to use your right hand, and you're going to fold your first two fingers in. So your ring finger and your pinky finger are up and your thumb is out. And you're going to use your hand, your thumb is going to block your right nostril, and not with a lot of pressure. So you're just up high, just holding very lightly in. And then when I say left, you're going to switch and use your ring finger to block the other side. So we're going to be going back and forth like that. Okay, pretty simple. So for this breath, we're going to inhale first through the left side for 4, and then we're going to block the left side and exhale through the right side for 8. And then we're going to reverse it the other way. And this is considered a very calming and relaxing breath. And we're going to do this for 3 minutes. And at the end, we're going to sit for a minute and just let our breath return to normal. And I want you to think about when you're sitting there, did anything shift for you? Did anything shift in your body? Did anything shift in your mind? Did anything shift in your emotions? Did anything shift in your energy level? And again, journal for yourself or drop them in the chat, and then we'll let Amanda read them off. So hope you're ready to begin. So you want to, and I'll walk you through this. And I'm going to set a timer. Lock the neck. Oh, one other thing that I should say before we start. People always ask about counting. I could count really fast, or I could count really slow. And what am I supposed to do? So in the yoga tradition, there is a sound that's considered the universal sound, and the sound is Om. So I always say to people, when you're counting, if you say Om to yourself between each number, 1 Om, 2 Om, 3 Om, that'll give you a sense of pace. And I'll pace us through the first few ones. Great. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to block the right nostril and breathe into the count of 4 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Block the left side and breathe out to the count of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Block. Breathe in through the right nostril. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Block the right. Breathe out left. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in left. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Block left. Breathe out. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in right, and I'll let you count for yourself. Breathe out. 8. And if you're struggling to breathe out, pull your belly in at the end and you'll get more breath out. Breathe in left. Breathe out right. Breathe in right. Breathe out left. Breathe in left. Breathe out right. Breathe in right. Breathe out left. And you can relax your hand down and just let your breath return to normal. And we're going to sit just for a minute and reflect a little bit on, did anything come up for you? And if something did, if you noticed anything, if you want to type it in the chat, that'd be great.
You know, I noticed at first I was so focused on doing it right that my shoulders were tense and my back
Ah,
was tight. And I had to actively remind myself to relax into it and that it was okay to not be perfect.
yes, great, Amanda. That's so important, I think. In the whole yoga tradition, um, we tend to think that it's important to be in a posture the appropriate way, but what's so important is how you get to the posture or how you get to the practice. And the most important thing in yoga is that you're always relaxed, that you never want your body to feel tense. You always want to feel like your breath is flowing freely and that your shoulders are down and that your back is straight. So great. Thank you for that comment.
Yeah. And people are saying that they focused on their breathing instead of their to-do list, which felt nice and calm. Um, Somebody realized how shallow their breathing normally is.
Hmm.
People are saying they feel relaxed and calm. It felt good to focus on their breathing.
Great. Great. Okay. We're going to move on to the next one, which is also calming. It's called calming Viloma. And both of these practices we're going to do in an energizing way as well. So they should be easy to remember. So this one is an interrupted breath. And we're going to breathe into the count of 6. And then through both nostrils. So you don't need your hand for this. And when you exhale, you're going to exhale 50% out of your breath out to a count of 3. And then you're going to hold for 3. So you're pausing your breath, your exhale. And then you're going to exhale the rest of the way. And you're going to pause again for 3 before you inhale for the count of 6. So it's inhale 6, exhale 3, pause 3, exhale 3, pause 3. And again, we're going to do this for 3 minutes. You might want to loosen up your shoulders a little bit, a few shoulder shrugs, shoulder circles. And we're going to start. Great. So inhale 6, exhale 3, pause 3.
And Michelle, should we be inhaling through the chest or the belly?
Oh, I'm sorry. You want to inhale through your nose, and you can bring the breath all the way into your belly. That's really where you want to feel the breath is in through your belly. And as I mentioned in the first breath, oftentimes to really expel all of the breath, you're holding your navel back towards your spine. So you're contracting your belly to really exhale all of the breath. Great question. Thank you. Okay. So in 6. Exhale 3. Hold 3. Exhale 3. Hold 3. And you can have your eyes open or closed, whatever's comfortable for you. Inhale 6. Exhale 3. Hold 3. Exhale 3. Hold 3. Inhale 6. Really full breath. Exhale 3. Half of the breath. Hold 3. Exhale 3. Hold 3. Inhale 6. Exhale 3. Hold 3. Exhale 3. Hold 3. And we'll go one more round. Inhale 6. Exhale 3. Hold 3. Exhale 3. And then just let your breath return to normal. Think about how you feel energetically and emotionally. I'll share that breath is a breath I do when I can't fall asleep at night. Or if I wake up in the middle of the night and my mind is racing with all the things I need to get done and I can't fall back to sleep, I'll practice that breath as I'm lying in bed, and it just helps me go right back to sleep again. So practical ways you can use this in a moment where you know you feel fear or anxiety, or you're going into a situation where you know you'll feel fear or anxiety. If you don't like public speaking and you suddenly have to do a presentation, you might want to practice some of these breaths before you're about to do your presentation, and it'll just bring you to a sense of calm and balance. So, yes, Amanda.
Just quick question from the group. When you wake up in the middle of the night or you're in bed and you're using that breath to help you sleep, do you sit up and do it, or do you do it lying down?
I do it lying down because my back is straight, but you certainly could sit up if you wanted to, but I just practice it exactly where I am lying down. Yeah, great question. The next one we're going to do is a mindful breath meditation. And all of these practices, especially meditation, is really focused on bringing you into the present moment. What is your experience in the present moment? Which really helps you to pause and refocus. So when we're doing this meditation, it's very common that when we try to meditate, our mind starts racing. It's a common thing. That's what happens. That's what our mind does. And I'm going to invite you, when that happens, to just refocus on your breath. Know that it's going to happen and refocus on your breath. You might say to your mind, right now I'm focusing on my breath. I'll tend to you later. Or you might want to think about sending that thought off in a little bubble into the air, into the ethers, so that it's not claiming your attention, and refocus on your breath. So for this meditation, we're going to breathe in and out through our nostrils, and you can say to yourself, I breathe in, I breathe out, and I'm calm. I breathe in, I breathe out, and I'm calm. You might want to notice how the air feels coming into your nostrils and how it feels exhaling through your nostrils. Is it warm? Is it cold? Amanda mentioned earlier, where is the breath going? Is it in your chest? Is it in your belly? Either of those are fine for this. And we're going to do this for 3 minutes, and I will walk you through a little bit more as we're going through. Anybody have any questions before we get started?
I think we're good.
Great. And for meditation, it's great if you feel comfortable closing your eyes. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, I would invite you to have a downcast gaze. So your eyes are maybe a quarter open and you're just focused at one spot in front of you on the ground. And we're going to do this for 3 minutes. So again, just normal breath, straight spine, shoulders down. If you find yourself tense, just wiggle around a little bit and come back to sitting and focusing on your breath. So you can start now. So you want to follow the breath with your awareness. Follow the breath all the way in. There's no need to change your breath. Just notice. You want to keep your awareness lightly and gently on your breath. Breathing mindfully in the present moment. I am breathing in. I am breathing out calm. If you notice your mind is trying to focus on something other than your breath, don't have any judgment about it. Just let it go and come back to your breath. You might want to think about breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I am smiling. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I am smiling. Great, so you can feel free to move your body some, open your eyes, roll your head around a little bit if your neck got tense from sitting straight. Happy to have anybody who wants to share in the chat what your experience was of doing that. And as you're doing that, I'll share this attention to your breath is something you can do in the form of meditation, as we just did. And it's also something great to do when you're standing in line at the cafeteria trying to get food, or you're waiting for an appointment, or you turned on your computer and it takes time to boot up and you're frustrated because you're trying to get in and get your schoolwork done. I have on my computer, I have taped the word breathe so that I remember through the day, oh, am I breathing? Am I really breathing fully? Am I really connecting into myself? So those are all moments in time that you might want to be aware of of how you're breathing, and just refocus on yourself, bringing your attention out of this external stimulus or the mind chatter. It's often called a monkey mind, that your mind is moving and moving and moving back into a central focus. So anything anybody want to share? Amanda, anything you want to?
People are feeling very centered and calm.
Great. Okay, so now that you're centered and calm, you still have an afternoon ahead of you of wonderful workshop. So we're going to try to raise your energy a little bit. And the practices that are focused on raising your energy also boost your confidence. And I'll share that I start every morning with a breath practice to raise my energy, so that I sort of set myself for the day with focusing on myself, having an internal focus, and moving from the state of sleepiness into a state of greater energy. So for students, these are great practices if you are a procrastinator and it's 10 o'clock at night and you still have to write 2 more pages for a paper you need to turn in the next day. Rather than go for sugar or a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, I would invite you to do some of these practices. They're going to bring your energy right back into your body in a really healthy way. So we're going to do the first 2 breaths we're going to do are versions of the first 2 breaths we did, but they are energizing in nature. So for the first one, it's the alternate nostril breath. And we're going to breathe in 8 and breathe out 4. So in to the count of 8 and exhale to the count of 4. And again, your hand is like this, eyes are open, closed, whatever works for you. And we're going to start breathing in left 8.
Breathing out, 4, right. Breathing in, right, 8. Breathing out, left, 4. Breathing in, left, 8. Breathing out, right, 4. Breathing in, right, 8. Breathing out, 4. In, 8. Out, 4. In, 8. Out, 4. Last round, in, 8. Exhale, right, 4. Inhale, right, 8. And exhale, left, 4. And drop your hand and just let your breath return to normal. You should feel the oxygen in your body a little more. Maybe you feel your heart rate has increased a bit and you've got a little more energy. So we'll move on to the next one, which is the interrupted breath. And this time we're going to pause as we're breathing in. So we're going to breathe in 50% to the count of 3. We're going to hold our breath for 3, breathe in 50%, hold our breath for 3, and then exhale 6. And we'll start. So both nostrils in 3, hold 3, in 3, hold 3, exhale 6. Inhale 3, hold 3, inhale 3, hold 3, exhale 6. Inhale 3, pause 3, inhale 3, pause 3, exhale 6. Inhale 3, pause 3, inhale 3, pause 3, exhale 6. We'll do one more round. Inhale 3, pause 3, inhale 3, pause 3, exhale 6. And again, just sit, let your breath return to normal. Again, you should feel like you have a bit more energy moving through your system. The next breath I'd like to teach you is called a breath of fire. I'm back up a little bit so you can see a little more of my body. For this breath, we are going to be breathing in through our nostrils into our belly and exhaling. It's a quick inhale and a quick exhale. And the focus is on the exhale. And it sounds like this. And I would invite you to put your hand on your belly so you really feel your belly moving in and out. So I want everyone to just try this for a few minutes. So in and out through your belly, really feel, you're going to breathe fast and really feel your breath moving in and out. So great. So hopefully you get the hang of that. The next part of it is that you're going to hold your hands. You're going to curl your fingers in and hold your thumb out, and you're going to hold your hands above your head, sort of 60%, arms straight, arms straight. We're going to do this for 3 minutes. So if your arms get tired, you can wiggle them around, get them back up there. You want to hold your elbows as straight as you can. Again, your fingers are curled in like this, and your thumbs are out. And then there's a special way we'll end this that I'll walk you through. Your breathing might match the rhythm of my breath. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. Just breathe in and out as well as you can. Great. Let's get started. Shoulders down, back straight. Eyes can be closed. That's 1 minute. 2 more to go. One more minute. Arms straight, elbows straight, shoulders relaxed. Twenty more seconds. I want you to inhale, bring your thumbs to touch, Stretch your fingers strong. Hold the breath in. Hold the breath in as long as you are comfortable. Shoulders relaxed, arms straight, fingers stretched high. And when you exhale, bring your arms out to the side in a big arc. And then relax your arms. So I'll share that breath of fire is one of my favorite breaths to do because it really increases my energy. And there have been studies that done. In fact, you can watch a TED talk about this. A faculty member at Harvard Business School named Amy Cubberley has written that if you hold your hands up like this, arms straight, for 3 minutes, you boost your confidence. Great to do before you have an interview, a test, you have to do a presentation, you're nervous about anything, you want to get that boost of confidence. 3 minutes, arms straight, breathing in through your belly. Great energizer. So I thought it would be fun for us to end with one more energizer, which is we're going to dance for 3 minutes. So I invited you all to have your own favorite dance music. I will play music. It doesn't often play well through the computer. So if you're playing your own device, make sure you set a timer for 3 minutes. The goal is going to be that your arms are above your heart. So whatever you want to do with your arms for 3 minutes, keep your arms above your heart. Keep your legs moving however you want. You can shut your camera off if you don't want people to see you dancing, but we're going to increase our energy for 3 minutes. And I want to share a very wise young woman whose name is Josine and was my first mentee in this program. She's one of the most optimistic people I know. And good things always happen to Josine because she believes in herself. She has incredible confidence. And one day I asked her, Josine, do you ever get down? And when you get down, what do you do? And she said, I dance it off. So this is a tribute to my mentee from Rwanda, Josine, who says, when you're ever frustrated or in a bad mood, put on your favorite music and dance it off. And in the end, you'll have more energy and you feel happier and you feel more confident and you go back into whatever's in front of you. So I'm going to put my computer back. I'm going to put some music on. I invite you to do the same. And then I will time us for 3 minutes. And I will say, if you're somebody who needs to stretch before you dance, take the time to stretch a little bit first. Okay, let's see if I can get my music on. Again, you're welcome to listen to my music. Right. But it's not playing, is it?
You know, we might be able to put some music on our end too.
Yes, definitely.
There we go. Wait a minute, sorry, my computer's a little slow. I am in the mountains of Santa Fe, New Mexico, and the internet connection is not always fabulous. Okay. Give it a minute. All right, everybody up?
Dance music if you want. Listen to this if you want. Dance it off.
Jai
Great. I'm going to wind us down because that was about 3 minutes of dancing. Wow. I'm going to grab some water. Wow. So I hope you feel energized by that. And I hope you remember, if you're ever frustrated or in a bad mood, take a few minutes and put on your favorite dance music and dance it off. And we will send out a handout that lists these practices and describes them to you, the breath practices we did, so that if you want to do them in the future that you can. And I just want to end again by talking about what I'd like your takeaways to be from this. And that is that you have some simple practices, that you feel a greater sense of calm and peace and happiness, that you're learning how to build your resilience more, that you increase your sense of inner spaciousness, that you're connecting into yourself, that you feel a sense of aliveness, and that you're doing all of these things so that you can dream your most authentic dreams, that you have the energy to make those dreams come true, and so that you can stand in your fullest sense of leadership. So thanks so much for joining me today with these practices. Hope you had fun and hope you will take them with you into the future. Thank you, Michelle.